Hey everyone, welcome to the results live stream for the go-kart contest. Now I've decided to do this through a live stream today, as it takes me a little bit less time to do. And it's fun to switch it up every now and then. Alright, hope you're all having a nice day. We decided to do the go-kart contest since new go-kart track pieces were enabled or in OpenRCT2, which is always a nice thing. So yeah, let's go take a look through all these entries. I will start with the one that got the lowest score from the voters, and I'll end with by announcing who's the winner of this contest. And thanks for the donation, 73. Much appreciated. Alright, let's start with the entry that got 14th place. Okay, in 14th place we have the entry from Angel of Shade, previously known as Diva Donny. And Angel of Shade, I believe they used the entry that was actually made for the RMC conversion contest as entry for the go-kart contest. So that probably also explains why the go-kart is kind of tucked away in the corner, and the RMC is mostly what takes the highlight in the park. The RMC travels underground for quite a big part of the layout, which is usually something that I do not recommend. You definitely want to have the viewers actually be able to see the coaster for most of the part. Anyway, this entry is all about the go-karts, and the go-karts start over here on these roads. Now, I have to say these roads do look a bit messy, and I don't think these fences really help in that regard. So maybe having more of this actual go track would have actually looked much nicer here. So that's definitely something that I would have done here. Now, I do like the interaction with the go-karts and the coaster. I probably wouldn't have used these paths like this. Doesn't really look like go-kart track. So yeah, definitely much that I think I would improve here. But overall, I think it's an alright entry. Now, and also, if you're building a frisbee ride, I really like these diagonal supports like this. But what I would recommend is to put another layer of these under them, just to make these legs look a little bit thicker. They look pretty flimsy now. And here on top you could probably also do some stuff to make it look a little bit more sturdy. I've made a nice tutorial for this. I may recommend it. Alright, and we go to the... Oh wait, I didn't announce the score for this entry. So this entry from Angel Shade got 14th place with a score of 5.62. So let's see which park got 13th place. 13th place we have the entry from Banan Fanat with a score of 5.88. And Banan Fanat actually used a palette that was made by 73. Which also is why it has this orange background. I believe it's the champagne palette. Not really sure why it's called that, but that's the name of it. Anyway, here we have this go-kart track. These buildings are mostly made with raised land. I have to say I quite like these buildings. They look pretty weird and pretty nice. Go-kart track, it's mostly just a dual track. The funny turnaround over here. I do think it could have been decorated a bit more. Here's just some land with trees. And yeah, if you put some more stuff here, people generally appreciate it much better. Now, there's a nice little twister coaster over here. And then over here, there's this random chairlift which travels up to this island over here. Not really sure what's going on here. This is the tea coaster. This is the coffee coaster. Yeah, I do like the vibe of this island. Yeah, the theme here is pretty cool. Not really sure what's up with these fountains. But yeah, this entry is certainly different from anything else in this contest. And with stuff like this, it actually reminds me of an entry from 73. Alright, let's move on to the next one. So, in 12th place, you have the entry from Sexpeddler with a score of 6.31. So, yeah, I really like this entry. Sexpeddler always creates these wonderful entries full of dangerous and silly rides. And yeah, these go-karts over here, they start over here. Here there's these signs for people to duck and to duck more. Probably because the clearance for this bridge is very low. And then they travel around these rocks here. And here they go underground, and there's this big jump over one of the car parks. There's actually 4 car parks in this entry. Car Park B. This is apparently also a car park. I actually really like how this ride is done. Doesn't really look like a car park to me, though. And this is also a car park with hover cars. And I guess can drive around on these. There's even a cannon over here. Yeah, just lots of random and funny stuff. But I love it. This is not a car park. But yeah, I thought this was a really fun entry. But what I actually like the most here is the landscaping. This player is obviously very good at landscaping. And I really enjoy that. These canyon rocks are just really nice. We also have the burger works here. Yeah, there's just lots of fun stuff to see here. Yeah, I'm sorry guys, you may get to see some ads during the live stream if you don't have an ad blocker installed. Alright, let's check out which entry got 11th place. Alright, in the 11th place we have the entry from Bosop. And he got a score of 6.46. Yeah, I believe this is the first entry that Bosop made in RCT or Open RCT 2. And yeah, I think he did a really nice job. I love this cassette tape. Yeah, it's really a throwback to the old age when we all used these things. It actually looks pretty much like the real thing. Also love this detail with the side friction coaster track in here. But also I like how he did the text on top. That's neatly done. And of course here's all the tape that has gone out of the cassette. Yeah, that's I think that's a really cool idea. And of course the go-kart track just looks like a random mess of tape strewn about. Yeah, I think what could have improved this entry a bit maybe is if the path was a bit more organic. Maybe an extra ride next to the side, maybe a flat ride, something like that. I think that could have been nice. Maybe for the entrance, I do quite like the way it looks like with these speaker towers, but probably it could have been expanded a bit. But yeah, overall, for a first Open RCT2 entry, I think Bosop did an amazing job. Alright, and then we get to the entry that got 10th place. Okay, in 10th place we have the entry from Horror Girl and Infinite Sadness. And they got a score of 7.54. So we made quite a jump up in score. Now, I think this is quite a good score. So congrats to these players. But yeah, overall, as you can see, it has kind of an autumn vibe, and it looks like it's all built on a farm. Now let's first quickly look at the go-karts ride, which we can find over here. By the way, you You can also find these coasters flying around. These are actually leaves. I think this is quite interesting how they did that. And I really like the wind effect that it has. So a really neat little trick. Now, here we have the go-kart track. I have to say I really like this pumpkin patch here. That's really nicely done. Yeah, also has a nice station, also with a bypass track. Looks like a mechanic is working on the go-karts here. And yeah, that's just really nicely done. I really like little details like these. Yeah, the go-karts travel around this land here. What I really like is how the go-karts wrap around these silos here. That's a really neat interaction. That's a really fun find. Oh, here we have this little bridge. And after the bridge there's just this little turnaround and then they go back. I think it would have been nice if the go-kart track was expanded a bit beyond the bridge. Maybe the parking lot actually isn't necessary and could have just expanded the go-kart around here. Made it do something fun. I think that would have been nice. So for these fences, they have these really bright ropes. I think this, I think they work nicer with some muted colors, something like this. Well, not for the gardens, of course. I think that'll make it fit in much nicer. What do you guys think? I often see people make these really bright rope fences, but have them do some muted colors. It looks so much nicer. Yeah, there were lots of really cool ideas in this map. I agree with that. And here we have this really cool ride where horses draw these carriages through this pumpkin patch. I also really like this trick with the ball lantern, where they make them look like a pumpkin on the ground. I've seen it in some more entries, and yeah, it works really well. I also see some other scenery objects used as bigger pumpkins. I really like this part. There's also a church here. I forgot what object this is, but I think this works really well as a bell for the church. Oh, it's several objects together. Pretty cool. No, we also have this corn maze here. Also works pretty well, I think. And there's also this little backyard coaster. It's also really cool. With the so it's actually a combination of the single rail coaster car in the middle, and then two of these corkscrew end vehicles. Yeah, that works really well. Yeah, we also have some spare coaster parts. Yeah, that's really nice of them. Yeah, I think this is a really neat entry. Alright, then we arrive at the entry that got 9th place. 9th place with entry from Carp Runner with a score of 7.58. Personally, I had this entry much higher. I really liked it and I thought it was done really well. Yeah, here we see the go-karts going around and they travel all around this entry. And yeah, it's quite fun watching them travel through the building here and through the premises. Yeah, I think these buildings look really cool, but also the rock work here in the middle. And there's this Mustang over here. Maybe the combination of track colors is a bit too chaotic here. When you make a sculpture, I recommend just trying to stick to some colors that fit together better. This is probably a bit too dark. But the black and the white makes it a bit chaotic. I do quite like some of these buildings here. Well, also lots of fun scenes over here with all these staff members. Now, we can also see this big Ford logo in the sky. By the way, I might be a bit biased for this entry, because I also drive a Ford. Yeah, here we have then this really cool looking scream and swing ride. Yeah, I like all the levels to this entry. I'll see this little horse ride over here. I drive a Ford Puma, someone asked. And yes, 73 Ford is... they have Ford all over the world, and also in the Netherlands. My past 2 cars were also a Ford. I had a Ford Fiesta before this, and now a Ford Puma. Bosop says I drive a Ford because I couldn't afford a more expensive car. Well, actually I didn't have to buy the car. It's actually a company car. But I can also drive it for private stuff. So that's nice. But yeah, I really enjoyed this entry. I'm a bit sad to not see it higher. But I think Carp Runner really did a great job here. Alright, and then we go take a look at who got 8th place. In 8th place, we have the entry from 30 and Timmy Tuner. And they got a score of 7.80. That's 7.80. Yeah, they recreated ZD's amusement park, which is a tiny park somewhere in the US, in Texas, I believe. And it's mostly known for this wooden shuttle coaster called, or this switchback coaster called Switchback. Now, I saw the year was relatively low, so yeah, knowing both of these players, I believe this was a kind of a speedrun entry. But yeah, let's first quickly take a look at the go-kart track. Go-kart track is here inside this big warehouse, looks like. And yeah, I think it's really cool how they made these big open doors in it, so we can actually easily look inside. Also, there's this big sunroof. And yeah, there's also all these open windows. I think that looks really cool. I also really like the outside part with these cool supports. I think they did a really nice job with the supports here. There's also all these funny beep scenes throughout the entry. I'll fix the damn gate myself. Now, I think also something went wrong with the beep scenes here on the parking lot, since all these guests seem to be stuck in a walking animation. That looks kind of weird. Now, I think it's really nice how they recreated the park. But of course, when you recreate a park, there's also always a choice about which park you recreate. And if you recreate a park that from itself does not have a lot of charm, then the end result will also be a park that yeah, may not have a lot of charm. And yeah, I think that's what held this park back from scoring a bit higher. I mean, yeah, there's just some grass surrounding it. Or maybe they just ran out of time. That could also be the case. It looks a bit yeah, empty and dead in some spots. For example, there's this brown grass and dirt here. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think this is a great recreation. It's just missing a bit of charm. And that's why we find it quite low in the list here. But still, I really like how the go-kart here is done. And these other rides, they're just full of nice tricks. And I think this is a great recreation of this coaster. Okay, then we arrive at 7th place. Let's take a look. Alright, in 7th place we have the entry from Genderman with a score of 7.90. 7.90. Now, if we zoom out here, I think this looks great. It does look a bit bright. This color of green is really bright. The water is also really bright. But yeah, I do think it looks pretty nice. I quite like the watercolor actually. It's this big hybrid coaster which fills up quite a bit of the park. It's also one of these Donkey Kong rides here. So like the one at Epic Universe. So the steeplechase track under here is actually the running track, and then the coaster vehicle is actually floating above the track. That way it can also do these jumps. Yeah, that's pretty neat. And here we have the go-kart track. Now let's just follow one of these vehicles around actually. Let's do this one. Just gonna speed it up a bit. Oops, I sped it up a bit too much. Oh well. We'll see the other part again later. Professional streamer, am I right? Anyway, I really like how Genderman did this helix here. I'm gonna stop following them. I just want to show this. Yeah, the go-kart don't actually have this element to do helixes. So I believe this is just a display track. So it's not actually a functional track, and the actual track is invisible. But yeah, I think this actually works really well. And it's one way to get the go-karts to follow these spirals. That's pretty interesting. Now, and then over here, the coasters actually... I love this arrow, by the way. It looks straight out of Mario Kart. Also some skid tracks here. It does look kind of random that there's this tiny part here, which that does not have any... yeah, actual track. I'm not really sure what the idea about this is. But I do really like this sign. So with the llama. Yeah, the go-karts spiral up here. And then here, there's this vertical drop. I believe the story was something about there having been an earthquake or something, and the earth shifted. And then there was a 10 meter gap in the track. Yeah, let's take a look at these go-karts as they drop off the big drop here. Very big drop. Well, yeah, I quite like the vibe of this map. Nice and tropical. They're really cool. Some really cool other rides like the hybrid coaster, the Donkey Kong ride, and I really love this structure here in the middle. Yeah, really nicely done. All right, and then we arrive at 6th place. So let's see, who got 6th place? In 6th place, we have the entry from TechnoKiwi91 with a score of 7.96. TechnoKiwi91 made this beautiful map. His maps do kind of look the same. I think he almost every time uses the same palette with these wood colors. I think I do really like the colors of the wood. He also likes making lots of gardens in this entry, lots of foliage, which is what we see here as well. I believe the station is inside the building here. Looks like it is. This is quite a really nice bridge here over the water. Yeah, that's I think it's just a really nice track, and it uses lots of these this newer track elements that we previously didn't have. Also these slopes, and I think these slopes actually work pretty well. And yeah, here's my favorite part about this entry. That's this giant windmill here, which I think looks awesome. I mean, I'm from the Netherlands. I definitely have an opinion on windmills, and I think this is a great specimen. We also have this spinning wild mouse over here, which is also beautifully decorated. I probably would love riding this. This looks so cool. The only thing I'm not really sold on this map is that is the partial map edge that was done here. So it's done over here, but not in this part. Maybe it was just a filler. Yeah, I'm not really sold on how the map edge was done here with these trees. I think a map edge like this looks nicer when you extend it above the actual map. Oh, this is Goliath rocks. For example, if you do something like this, so well, of course, this is just, and then you would need to fill up this part a bit more. Something like that could work. But also, if you do something like this, you should probably do it for the entire map and not just parts. Because I think right now it kind of looks weird. Anyway, that's just how I will do it. Overall, I think it's a super nice map. Okay, and then we get to 5th place. And in 5th place, we have the map from Otter with a score of 8.18. Now, Otter is a newcomer to OpenRC2. No, I'm just kidding. He's definitely not a newcomer. He has joined a few contests before, and I believe he loves making bob karts and go-karts. Now, as far as I know, this entry was first made for the bob kart contest, but he wasn't in time to send it in, I believe. Anyway, that would explain why the bob kart is actually mostly the center point of this map. Of course, we also have go-karts in the map. I think the go-karts actually look great. And the one problem with the go-karts in this map, here's the finish. The one issue I have a bit with go-karts in this map is that for a large part they're underground, so they can be quite difficult to follow. I do really like these cutouts that we see. I love this cutout. It's like we're inside a temple here that's underground. I think that's really cool. But yeah, it's sometimes quite difficult to follow them around. Yeah, here's another really cool cutout. I do really like this. Looks like a path for the guests here. Yeah, this just looks lovely. Love these stairs here. We also have a great looking bridge over here. It's also really fun. Also, we come back to the guests. Look at the... This bridge doesn't feel safe. Yeah, you can't say that again. Hey, these beep scenes really help in when you make a contest entry. This is really fun. I also really like these bridges that he made of wood. Yeah, the landscaping and the temples in this entry just look phenomenal. That's just so nice. Also great foliage. But yeah, I do really wish the go-karts were maybe a little bit more visible. But yeah, I think this is just a wonderful entry from Otter. Alright, then we get to 4th place. And in 4th place we have the entry from P2. And he got a score of 8.25. Now, yeah, I think this entry also looks amazing. This is a dirt go-kart track. I love these actually these skid marks, or these yeah, skid marks here on in the dirt. That just adds a nice touch to this park, and definitely makes these go-karts yeah, just a tad more realistic. I think it looks really cool. I think the landscaping in this entry also really nicely done. Although some of these rocks do look a little bit repetitive. You have these wind sculpted faces. Ah, here's another one. So some people often forget that you can also use these. And that often also gives some dark spots, so it's great to add some variety. There's another one of these that you can also use. Another one that looks a little bit different. But when you add a few more of these, it usually looks a bit less repetitive. You could also, for example, lower the ground here and then add a few of these that are sticking inward. Just a few things that you can do to make these look a little bit less repetitive. Now I made it look repetitive again, but I think you get the idea. But also some really nice supporting rides here. Here's this cool little LSM launch coaster. Love the support work on this one. Nice little layout. Definitely something you could find in a smaller park. Now I'm gonna rotate the map. Some people don't know how to do that, but you can do it by pressing the enter key or by pressing this button. And here we have this really cool dinghy slide. And this dinghy slide is actually a launched dinghy slide. And it's one of these rides where you have the pushing arm in the middle, which actually looks like it's pushing up these dinghy slide vehicles up the track. I believe it's from a promotional video. Not actually sure if one of these dinghy slides have been built in real life yet. Someone in the chat will probably know if they have been built already. But I think it's really cool to see a ride like that in an actual contest park. Now, also these paths, I think they look great. They look pretty organic. I also love the way the fences around these paths are done. Yeah, P2 said he wasn't sure. He thought he would end up really low in the scores, but yeah, that just goes to show. He got 4th place. I think that's an amazing score. Alright, then we get to the top 3. Let's show which entry got 3rd place. Alright, in 3rd place we have the entry from Lurker. And Lurker got a score of 8.28. Now, Lurker's entry looks like a typical Lurker map. Just lots of beautiful landscaping, kind of chaotic landscaping, and all of the park filled up with gardens, foliage. And yeah, I think he has perfected his formula. The park is in year 7, and I actually believe that Lurker built so fast, so he probably didn't spend more than 7 hours on this park. I know how fast he built. I once teamed up with Lurker, and normally when you team up, you will pass the save file back and forth a few times. But the first save file that Lurker sent me was already a completed park. So that was a fun way to work together. But yeah, I think the layout for this go-kart ride is really nice. It just travels through the park in a nice way. Also love this little bridge here. So the boat hire to pass under it. Lots of ducks. Oh, I have sound turned off, so they don't quack. Sorry. Yeah, just some lots of little buildings here, the way that Lurker loves to build them. We also have a top spin here in this bicycle ride. Yeah, it's just a really beautiful entry. Alright, now we're getting to the top 2. Now I will first show the last 2 entries, and only after that I will reveal which one is the winner of this round. Alright, so we have 2 entries remaining, the one from Derson, Gustaf, Goblin, and from Rhythm. I'll start with the one from Rhythm. Okay, here's the entry from Rhythm. Now, Rhythm usually builds his parks with only one angle. You can see that's the same here. So yeah, we'll just not rotate the map in this for this park. So I think the people who don't know how to rotate the map, yeah, I think Rhythm is really blessed that we have people like that in our community. But yeah, this just looks phenomenal. Here you can see the station for the go-karts. This is really a nice platform here. So I love the track layering under this. It really looks like there's some tree branches or roots. So it says roots here. Track's also called roots. But yeah, this queue, this looks so nice here also with the minecart track under it. And here the go-karts leave the station. Let's just follow one of them around. I like how they emerge from the cave here. Also there's these beautiful waterfalls here. They travel up the tree here. It's gonna speed it up a notch. Little house here. Yeah, also have an observation tower inside this tree. That's just so cool. The tree itself also looks amazing. And here they spiral down the tree and onto this section here where they travel under this swing ride. This also looks great. It looks like a big mushroom top here. Or a basket filled with tiny mushrooms. Yeah. I mean, yeah, this entry is just so beautiful. But I also like the way that Rhythm did this rock work here. I'm not even sure I've ever used this object. What object is this? Meteor crater. Okay, so he probably just used a tiny part of this crater. That's really creative. But I guess it also only works from one angle. Yeah, this is just an amazing entry from Rhythm. He said he doesn't have much time anymore since he has a little baby now. But it's always such a joy when he still joins. And he, I believe he still follows all the contests. So if you have anything nice to say to Rhythm in the chat, yeah, please do so now. Alright, and then we can take a look at the other possible winner of this round. The other possible winner of this round is this entry from Derson and Gustaf, Goblin. Yeah, they created this really hellish landscape here. This beautiful castle. I believe this castle was built by Derson, and Gustaf Goblin helped in the last days to get everything filled in. I believe he also built an extra ride. Yeah, this is just an amazing looking building. I always enjoy the buildings that Derson creates. They're always really big in scale and they look wonderful. All the different materials used here for the walls and the pillars and so the windows look great. So use the flames. Not even sure what object some. Oh, this is just a pipe piece on top of one of these. It looks like cauldrons. That's really they go really well together. Normally, when I do something like this, I make the pipe piece invisible. But if you just color it in the same color as the cauldron, that actually fits together so well. But yeah, this is just an amazing object usage. I also love this bridge here. In the color choice, I think it's great. And the go-kart track, I think it also looks amazing. Yeah, definitely made good use of all the new track piece that we have. Lots of diagonals, lots of wide turns. Also all these bones surrounding it look great. What I probably like most here is actually these trees. This is actually a mix of all different kinds of trees together, with there's a beautiful color gradient in it. All these different tree trunks here. That's just so nicely done. And there's also, of course, this powered coaster which travels through the entry. I think this was a late addition, but yeah, I love the way this track looks. So some invisible tracks used here to make it look like it's surrounded by these bones. That's just so cool. Now, something which I wish this entry did have was maybe an extra ride somewhere in the map, maybe a flat ride. I think that would have added a little bit of life to the rest of the map. Not much is happening here at the moment, only when these rides pass. I think with a flat ride, like a top spin or maybe a launch freefall or something bigger here, I think they would have added some more movement to the entry. Maybe some beep scenes here and there, but of course there's no paths here. But yeah, I think that that could have added a bit more life to the entry. But overall, I think this is just an amazing entry. Alright, then now it's time to reveal which one of these last two entries is the winner of the round. Now, I don't have any drumroll sound effects available at the moment, so you'll just have to imagine it. Anyway, let's go check. Ah, I see Rhythm also joined the chat. Welcome to the stream, Rhythm. But yeah, let's go check. It's the winner. This entry from Derson and Gustaf Goblin. Or is Rhythm the winner of this round? And the winner of the go-karts contest with a score of 8.74 is... Can I see some predictions in the chat? I see Banan Fanat hallucinating drum rolls. I see some people typing drum rolls. Come on, let's get some predictions in the chat. It's definitely one of them. I can assure you that. Alright, I will no longer keep you waiting. The winner of the go-kart contest with a score of 8.74 is Rhythm. And Gustaf Goblin and Derson got second place with a score of 8.71. Alright, let's go back to the one from Rhythm. Yeah, both of these last two entries were great. Only 0.03 difference between these last two entries. So that's a really tiny margin. Both of these entries were amazing. But of course, only one can be the winner. And for this one, it's Rhythm. But yeah, really nice to see Rhythm back in action. This such a wonderful entry. Really nicely done. And yeah, I hope Rhythm soon finds some time to join another one of these contests. This is just amazing to look at. And I always love a good one-angle park. Alright, yeah, I hope you guys all enjoyed this live stream. If you want to join one of these contests yourself, they're always announced on my Discord server. You can also find them all on my website. Link is in the video description. And all these parks can also be downloaded from my website. So if you want to check out one of these parks for yourself, just get OpenRC2 and you can check out and download all these parks for yourself. Alright, hope you all enjoyed the stream and I'll see you again in the next video. See you later.